Greetings, fellow humans. Welcome to Sam and Max Hit the Books. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And we are here to review some of the books that we purchased on March 6th of 2019.
Yep.
I specify that's the day we purchased them because two of these books came out previously, actually. So we're going to start with the stragglers, as it were.
Yeah.
And Sam, tell us what happened in issue 4 of GoBots.
Yes. Tom Scioli's GoBots, written and penciled by him. And my goodness. So last time, we of course found out that it's been a long time since the GoBots took over.
Yeah.
And these astronauts with Spacey, their rocket ship GoBot, they've just come back now that the planet has been completely entrenched by GoBot World.
Right, that was the reveal, is that it was Earth, is the dirt center of the giant GoBot world.
Yeah, and now things are pretty weird, you know? The
Full
humans... there's been war for a long time. Things are worse than ever. The humans, they've devolved. Psykill is driving around in a giant throne with, like, a scales... with the bowls are just full of naked humans that he plays with.
When he piles up a bunch of the humans,
he's like, transform!
Combine!
They all just fall apart, so he's just... he scoffs at them and shows them out. Hilarious.
It's
oh, man. Stuff. And then you got, like, GoBot tribes that are different. Like, GoBots that think that they are birthed from the Earth. And now, the Gobotron.
I did look this up. The Rock Lords was, in fact, a spin-off toy line of the GoBots, where they were all robots that turned into rocks. This is a real one.
All right, and so they show up.
The Rock Lords.
An analog of them shows up, and they're pretty weird. They're all peaceful. They just want to exist as rocks and be a part of the world. But
they're the monks of this weird, like, medieval war fantasy thing.
Yeah, and so they're all trying to get this lance.
Right, this magic lance that can kill the giant tripod dinosaur.
Right, that terrorizes the lands.
Zod, right? It's called Zod.
I believe it is called Zod. But so they go to the cave place. It's pretty cool.
It's weird.
Zod. It's pretty cool
because they do fill us in on some backstory we didn't see. Because we hear about why the main red good guy GoBot doesn't like Leader One and does like humans. Because it turns out that I guess the girl who was in the first couple of issues
became a freedom fighter.
She was like a freedom fighter, and like she was becoming inconvenient for Leader One. So he may have had her killed, but Leader One says like that's not how it happened right before all the action starts, and he can actually explain himself. But there's some weird inferred backstory here. There's like leaders that nobody likes, and there's this magic lance that gets broken in two, but they still manage to use it because they're falling down this cave, and they manage to stack the two broken pieces of the lance on top of each other. So that it's almost like the lance is complete, and therefore it can fulfill the prophecy of being the only thing that can kill this giant GoBot tricycle.
Yeah.
And Leader One gets really fucked up.
Yes, he does.
Badly.
He dies. No, not Leader. Yeah, Leader One dies.
Leader One dies. It seemed like Spacey died earlier, but he was playing possum or something.
Yeah.
There's like 50 things happened in this 20-page comic.
Yeah.
With 40 panels per page.
It's true. A lot happened.
It is hard to keep it in your brain while you're reading it. Okay, what's happening? Okay, who are these? Okay, why are they going here? Okay. But the main plot beats themselves are so rock solid, like tropes. It's like everything
very
you've seen
hard
before
to keep track of who's who. But you still know what's going on.
You know who the good guys are. You know who the bad guys are. You sort of understand their motivations a little.
A little bit.
I don't know. What would you give it?
I'd give it a 7.
As usual, we are of similar minds. I do think this is a 7. It wasn't my favorite issue of this series. It was appropriately crazy and big, but the sort of disconnected randomness of the plot is starting to wear on me. And like maybe that'll go away once I'm reading all of these together as a collected edition.
Right, when we have the conclusion next time.
Right, one more left.
Yeah, it does seem like there was a little bit that wasn't quite filled in.
That was a huge time jump for us to take. Completely change all the characters.
Very true.
All right, the other late book, which is also a famous 80s toy property being done by a super indie comic book guy, is issue 1 of G.I. Joe Sierra Muerte by Michel Fife. Sorry, I do know how to say that one correctly. I'm not a big G.I. Joe guy. Literally, the only G.I. Joe I've really read previously is the Transformers vs. G.I. Joe by Tom Scioli. So I'm sure I have a pretty good idea of like the general archetypes that all these characters are supposed to be, but it's like I didn't watch the show, so I'm not going to be catching references.
Right.
This was a weird one.
It very much was.
It was a cool action sequence where it's the Joes versus some Cobra, and the Joes are being good guy soldiers, and Cobra are being Cobra, trying to get away with some serious weapons. But the whole beginning was kind of slapdash. I did, however, really enjoy the last chunk of the book, where it was just gung-ho, rock and roll, and roadblock in the forest, doing their little action guerrilla thing. That was some good stuff. I like all those guys. And yeah, it's fine. Like the art's good, but it's not as good as like remember Michel Fife's Blood Strike, that 3-issue series, which is also a weird thing we'd never read before. But yeah,
Blood Strike Brutalists.
That's the one. Yeah. Same guy, like same thing, where we're super unfamiliar with these characters, and the series is super based on like a continuity, things that have happened before.
Oh yeah,
I had a real easy time with Bloodstrike Brutalists. This I did not have an easy time with.
No, it wasn't easy, even with giving us the names of every character as they show up. Still, I was having trouble keeping track of who was who.
Yeah, and honestly, even the art I didn't think was as good as in Bloodstrike. He was doing some weird things. And Bloodstrike, some weird page washes. I remember that like full page like side profile of a guy that was just one brush stroke with an eye painted over it, and all sorts of cool stuff like that. And this didn't have any pages that really grabbed me like that. I really enjoyed when he would have like each Joe got sort of like a full page spread where they were spread across multiple panels during an action sequence. I loved those pages.
That's working. That works well.
I think this is a 5.
I'd actually put it at 4.
Fair enough. But yeah, this one, honestly, I love Michel Fife. I don't know if I really want to continue this series. You know, it didn't hook me.
That's fair. Yeah, I feel the same way.
All right. I guess we went in a weird order. Let's just do this. Boom. All right. Sam, take us to Batman.
Batman. So we have a new issue of Tom King's Batman. Maelstrom of the Mind. And this is it's a Catwoman talking to the Question.
Now, this is definitely taking place in Bruce's mind, and he's asking his impression. That. Yeah, it's 100%. Like, this is still one of the nightmares.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
Which makes it extra weird that it's Catwoman telling the story of her and Batman's past.
Right.
You know, I didn't really care for this issue too much, to be honest.
I liked the 2 pages of, Batman is in the Justice League, and it's crazy because they're all gods, and he's just a man, and they're fighting this like Cthulhu demon, and you see Superman and Wonder Woman jumping into it because it's a crazy superhero maelstrom, and Batman follows him on down because he's Batman, that's what he do. Like I liked that sequence quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, well, that's always a good thing.
But yeah, other than that, just the whole conceit that, so Batman has pictured himself as the Question in order to ask himself, his subconscious, about the, I guess, biggest question in his mind, I would assume, which is why
Selina left him.
Right, and the end twist of the issue is that Selina, of his mind, admits to the Question that, her reason wasn't actually that Batman couldn't be in love and also be Batman. She lied.
Yeah.
So, to me, that says that the next issue, or at least the resolution at some point, is going to involve Bruce actually figuring out the reason why she did it himself from clues that he already knows.
Yeah, that could be cool.
That could be cool.
Yeah, but it seems like there's been a lot since then that, for it just to be something like that, did we really have to go through this entire slow coaster?
I mean, if he did manage to puzzle out that she's actually working for Bane, and this turns out to have been a nightmare hallucination induced by Bane, and it turns out that Batman works out everything because he was put into that situation as part of Bane's plan, and Bane messed up, I might be willing to give Tom King a couple points, because that is kind of a cool Batman-y thing.
Yeah.
I did quite enjoy Jorge Forney's art on this book.
Me too.
And it kind of made me disappointed that the story was so lame, and he was having to illustrate like another one of those full-page Batman, Catwoman talking to each other because of Bat-Cat. But man, this dude has such a Dave Mazzucchelli on Batman Year One style that I would love to have more art from this guy. It just looks spectacular.
I'd have to agree with you on that one. Yeah. The palettes, the use of space, it's very clean.
Right. It looks good, and this is a good way for Batman comics to look. Like Superman comics should never look like this, but Batman, it's such a drawn down, more realistic, like the super short ears on the cowl.
Right.
It really works.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's really all I can say about this issue.
Yep, and that's why I give it a 2.
I got to give it a 3 for the art. I got it.
Yep. If it was more action-y art, I might give it a 3.
Yeah, anything more interesting.
Yeah.
I do want to take this time to, though, since this was our first DC book we did, to mention the Mad Magazine thing that ran in the back. I don't know if it was even really just an ad for Mad Magazine, but I got to be honest, some of these bits were pretty funny. Particularly this page that was aping newspaper comic strips. You had like a fake Calvin and Hobbes. You had a Far Side. You had Peanuts. But this Dilbert one, where Superman is telling Arthur that his numbers are down and marketing has some new ideas for what to replace them with, and the last panel is the reveal of Jason Momoa instead. That got a full Q giving Data the ability to laugh guffaw out of me. Like, ha!
I can't stop myself.
Loved it.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
But that's not worth any points, because that was at the back of all the DC books. True. Okay, Sam. I'm excited. Issue 5 of The Green Lantern by Grant Morrison, Liam Sharp, and Steve Oliff on colors. Great on colors, man.
Yeah.
Cover copy, marooned on a vampire planet. Hal Jordan faces the ultimate ordeal of endurance. And at the bottom of the front page also, Dark Star at Zenith. So many captions. Captions. Matt Wilson of the very good War Rocket Ajax podcast said on Twitter the other day, the Green Lantern went full Bloodborne, or something to that effect.
Yeah,
I gotta say,
right. You told me about that.
He is so right, because this was 100% Hal Jordan having to do a Bloodborne in order to pass his Dark Star initiation. Hal's been accepted into the Dark Stars. Now he has to go through this gauntlet on this vampire planet with a demon train, and he has to earn his 3 pieces of Dark Star armor, like his visor, his gauntlets, and his chest shield.
Right.
So good! He's in conversation with the vampire queen lady the whole time. They're going over it. And the answers to all of the riddles are both very obvious and very clever.
Yeah.
It's like, Hal, Jordan, you must look where you would hesitate to look. And he's like, what do you mean? Inside? And he just walks over to the doors he sees and he's like, looks inside. Yep, there's the visor.
Yep.
Having the shackles turn out to have already been the thought-controlled weapons that the Zorks used. That was I didn't see that one coming, but that was real good.
That was fun.
When he goes, that tingle in the back of my mind, I know that's from a thought-controlled weapon. Like, ooh, so good, Hal Jordan.
Well, that's fun.
And then the last twist I honestly did see coming. When I was wondering if Grant would do it, if he would go for the full would the bad guys really do a test thing that ends with like, oh, having to trust your teammates.
Oh yeah,
and they do it.
That's a cool thing too. Yeah.
We get this one page of Hal talking to one of the Guardians in flashback about this plan to go undercover.
Yep.
We do get the reveal that yes, the Guardian did mean Hal when he said that a Green Lantern would soon be revealed as a traitor.
Yep.
And here's what we want you to do, and it's all very TV show, cop show, tropey. Like we need you to go undercover. In the bad guys, and right down to, oh man, you're gonna have to prove your allegiance to us by shooting this guy we think you like.
Yes, that is the last page, is it not?
Yeah, the Adam Strange is gonna be doing stuff, so Hal's gonna have to prove himself by killing Adam Strange. How's he gonna get out of that one?
Yeah.
Hal's choice to take the name when they say you must take a rebirth name, a Black Star name. It was, well, that's obvious. Parallax. Black Star Parallax. Ooh.
Good name.
So good. Yeah, this one I liked. This is everything I want out of this series. That's a 9 from me for sure. The art is spectacular. Colors are great. Dialogue's all good. Hal's a great character, doing cool things. There's action on every page.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give it an 8.
I get it. I'm the Morrison stan.
Yeah, I loved it.
Loved it. So good.
Yeah, it's a good comic.
Okay.
There. Definitely space sci-fi.
It's smooth. It's the space sci-fi you want.
Yeah.
Like it's just in the thick of it, all the way up to your elbows.
Yeah, it's true, and that is what I want. Moving on. Let's talk about issue 14 of the Immortal Hulk.
Immortal Hulk.
Ali Ling and Kyle Hotz.
Kyle Hotz drew that Carnage Mind Bomb and that other issue of Venom recently. And so it's always nice to have him show up, especially when monstrous things are happening. Because, man, this dude draws 2 things well. Like weird, veiny monsters and really angry faces. People looking mad in this comic.
Yeah, that's true. Mad purple faces.
The purple faces got me a little bit at first. When on that first reveal of Bruce waiting for her there. Yeah, it's like, it was so purple.
Right, so he's waiting for his ex-girlfriend She-Hulk.
But, yeah, well, his ex-girlfriend, Red She-Hulk.
Red She-Hulk.
Regular She-Hulk is his cousin, Jennifer Walters.
Ah, right.
Yeah. But yeah, when you think about it, I mean, it's supposed to be sundown, right? So is the colorist really going so far as to imagine there's a purple sunset that we're not actually seeing on the page, but that's the reason why we're seeing Bruce colored that way?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's just because purple and green go so well together.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The Hulk, his color scheme.
Yeah. So, we do have a confirmation that Agent Burbank was indeed transported to hell with them before.
Yes, that's weird that they didn't show us at all, but he's real mad about it.
He's real mad about being in hell for a little while. It's pretty funny. He's got a bead on Bruce.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a bead on both of them because he can turn his gun or his hand into a gun that also can do heat vision.
Yeah.
Which pretty cool. I wonder what else he can do.
Yeah, because he can do that, and he can turn his arm into a 100 caliber cannon.
Right, 100 caliber. One of those.
So and the way he said it, it seems like this might be like implanted tech that does specific things. Like would he be specifying the caliber and all that if he could just turn his hand into any gun he could think of? No, it's
he might.
They installed like 6 guns into here's a pistol, here's a sniper rifle with heat vision stuff, and here's a 100 caliber cannon. Those are the things we're giving you. That's what I do. Also want confirmation though of what exactly this dude's deal is.
Yeah. He's real weird.
Yeah.
And up until this point, I was thinking he's pretty scary. But, when he tries to shoot Bruce, he picks the wrong target in the heat vision, couldn't tell which was which, and shoots Red She-Hulk.
I love that Bruce is so physically small as Bruce that he would essentially in silhouette appear exactly the same as tiny Betty.
It's true. That unleashes the Hulk.
Oh, yeah. Really unleashes the Hulk.
That goes after Agent Burbank, and then he just keeps saying, it'll be a rush.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to take him on. It'll be a rush. I'm going to try the 100 caliber. It'll be a rush. Gets real annoying.
That was weird, right? It has to be on purpose.
It's real weird.
It's real weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, he shoots Hulk right in the head, but as the angry military guy on the radio says, "It's night, you fool. Hulk can't die right now."
None of them can die, and then we get Red She-Hulk,
right?
Eyes turning red as she's lying on the ground.
I bet he's going to be okay. She's still Red She-Hulk.
Right, even though she was not supposed to be, because Bruce was supposed to have removed that, but I guess you can't remove Hulkness.
You know, when you're open to the green door, I don't know if that's a door you can close, is what Ali may be telling us. Yeah, or does she have a red door?
The light always gets through, and maybe she has a red door, but it seems like, the green door already takes you to hell.
I know, right?
Yeah. And, then at the end,
Doc Samson
gets saved by Doc Samson, and he's there to calm the Hulk.
The last real major Hulk supporting character who hasn't shown up so far in this run. Samson. I like Samson. He's cool.
He looks like he's gonna do some cool stuff.
You remember him? He was on the cartoon. He has Hulk gamma powers, but it only got him a little bit, so he's a little extra muscly, and his hair turned green.
Huh? Yeah, no.
We used to love Doc Samson.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'd give that one an 8.
I think that...
No, you know what? I'm going to give it a 7.
I was also going to give it a 7. The art, I really like. It's not quite doing all the cool things that Joe Bennett is doing regularly on the book.
Yeah.
But the art style is very suited for a horror title and very suited for the title that this is right now. Although, yeah, Bruce is real ugly.
Yeah. Yeah. It does take a long time for you to get to any real action. It's a lot of talking in the beginning.
Yeah, there's no real hulking out happening here. I really do want to know, though, which corpse the military guys are working on that they dug out that obviously has some gamma connection. Get a little shot of the hand. But that's, I'm very, very curious of what other crazy monster shenanigans we're about to get up to in this book.
Right, we'll see.
Okay, moving on to Justice League, issue 19 by Scott Snyder and Jorge Jimenez. That is Phil Jimenez? Jorge Jimenez, that's right. I can never remember which Jimenez is which. And he does great. What a beautiful looking book.
That's true.
I
love when the buildings start... The
Daily Planet turns into evil Pac-Man.
Yeah, it bites a Wayne building.
Right, it kind of looks like Vector Man. We get some real good Mr. Mix-a-Splitlick action. Turning people into things.
Oh, yeah, when he starts turning Green Lantern into little bubbles of light. That is awesome.
And he's got his weird velociraptor mouth and tongue while he's doing it.
Yeah, real scary.
But it turns out that weirdly the Justice League actually did contain him, and he was just imagining all of those things happening. And I don't know how much I love the Justice League being able to have any way to contain the fifth dimensional imps. I guess they are weak
fifth
right
dimensional cage. That kind of explains it satisfactorily for me. It's like, we got this fifth dimensional thing. It can hold you because you're a fifth dimensional thing.
It explains it, but it's very Rick and Morty. I know we say that a lot on this show, but it's very here's the thing we're going to use to explain why we can do this impossible thing, which normally would be super impossible. But I have the de-impossibilizer.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, you're not wrong.
But we do get the reveal that there's a sixth dimension that is above even Mix-a-Splitlick's dimension, which they need to get to because there may be answers there may be. But Mixie is interested in helping them out because the fifth dimension is also dying. And it's real sad to see the Looney Tunes cartoon world of the fifth dimension. So sick. Sick. And we get the great 2-page spread of the 6 dimensions of the DC multiverse. We get Monitor and Anti-Monitor, and there's a big old Perpetua. I didn't even realize she was there when I was looking at the page for a while for some reason.
That's pretty cool.
I love that it's the multiversity disc map.
Yeah.
But then we're now seeing it pulled out and expanded into extra dimensions because here's all of time. And I guess these are, the 4 Omega Guardians. That's what they were called, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I really was looking for the World Forger on the page because they mentioned him, but I don't think he's there. he would be looking pretty hawky, wouldn't he?
Right.
I would think.
I think so.
So Mixie is like, oh yeah, I can send somebody to the 6th dimension. It's hard, but I can do it. But only Superman would be able to survive because, I mean, come on, 6th dimension.
Yeah.
I've been slowly feeding Superman the ability to survive in the 6th dimension for many years because as a being that lives outside of time, I always knew this day would come. I like that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Superman goes in the door and comes out like a minute later, less than a minute maybe.
Yeah, probably.
And he's old, and he's got this crazy white suit, and he's like a jolly old Santa Claus Superman.
Oh, yeah.
And things are looking good, and he's like, I found the way after a 10-year journey. And it seems like he's aged way more than 10 years, though. This to me is like 35 years more for suits.
He seems much older.
Because, I mean, what's he supposed to be? Like 35, 40 tops? Like, come on, really? This is a 50-year-old man?
He looks distinguished, at least.
He takes him through the door, because I guess now everything's okay for them to go through that door.
Right, he programmed it.
He programmed it for them, and we see a cool future Justice League living in a weird utopian super society where there's a lot of extra white on everybody except Batman.
Yeah. Red.
And I do like that Jon Stewart, they took time to actually make him the White Lantern with the White Lantern symbol.
That's nice.
But then the reveal is that, oh yeah, that dude who came out the door, that can't be Superman. Superman's actually in a trap that's perfectly designed for him, a sunlightless region in a pocket dimension that will slowly sap his powers that have no chance to escape from.
Yeah, the prison designed just for him.
Prison designed just for him. This was, I think, the best issue of Justice League so far.
Yeah, at least in a long time.
Wasted a long time getting this good, but man, I like everything that was happening in this issue. It was brilliantly drawn.
Yeah, it seems also like it was taking a couple of jabs at like what Justice League has been recently. I remember there being at least a few lines of dialogue about like, you know, everything being so crazy that it doesn't even make sense or something like that. And you got a little bit of like Superman, like, you can say it, buddy. Say I'm Batman.
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
Using Batman as a foil like that is better than having Batman just be lame as a joke, which is where this book has gone before. Remember, Batman needs to poop.
Yeah.
Batman needs to pull over the Batmobile because he needs to find a place to poop.
Yeah, Batman over the toilet vomiting.
Right? That's what you want in Justice League. But yeah, I would have to give this issue, that is a solid 7.
Yeah, I'd also give it a 7.
Yeah, I don't know if we may have ranked an issue of Justice League higher than that before. I feel like we haven't.
I feel like we generally give Justice League a 6 or a 7.
I think you're right. I almost want to give it an 8, but I feel like it still has to suffer a little bit for how long it took to get here. This should have been like issue 7. This should have been the issue after like one arc.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's, you know, when you're doing bi-weekly, I understand that you feel like, oh, I got twice as many issues to tell the story. But no, don't do it that way. Like, give us the story faster.
It's real hard to come up with stuff. But at least it seems like, you know, it's getting on the right track now.
It's getting on a better track. I'm genuinely interested in what the next issue will bring. Like, this was it's a cool plot turn. I love alternate future weirdness.
Yeah, I love Superman coming out and being like, come to the future. Here you go. Ta-da, everything's better.
We won. Don't even worry no more.
Yeah.
Like, it's so, like, actually everybody has a Starro on their face right now and is laying there in a reality that is being controlled for them type dealie. You know what I mean?
Jarro's going through his terrible teens.
Oh man, what if I can totally actually see them doing that now. Like, yeah, Starro. Oh, is Starro dead? Starro's dead.
Starro's dead, it's Jarro.
But they could do something and then Jarro's the one who has to get in there. In the fantasy world, Jarro has like a full body. Like, he's made himself look a little bit like Batman, but like a Starro version of Batman. It's like, hey Dad, look.
Makes himself better than Starro ever was. More powerful. He's Jarro.
Jarro. Actually, I really want him now to show up as like a person with a body, but then just like a jar on it said Mr. Freeze style, you know, with the Jarro portion in there. It's to make the Jaro name continue to make sense. There's still a jar.
Right, there's
like
still
an Earthworm
a jar.
Jim suit with a globe on top.
Like that Mysterio.
Like that Sam and Max villain that was just a piranha in a fishbowl on top of a
on top of a guy, in a suit.
Oh yeah, don't get rid of that one yet. So let's move on to this is on you.
Oh yeah, Cosmic Ghost Rider. That is on me. This
Cosmic Ghost
is a
Rider.
new number 1 in the Cosmic Ghost Rider. Cosmic Ghost Rider destroys Marvel history.
Boom. This is written, interestingly, by Paul Scheer, television actor, writer, and host of the How Did This Get Made podcast. You may recall he made an appearance in Mr. Miracle.
Right. And Nick Giovanetti.
Who I've never heard of.
Right.
So who knows who wrote what?
That's true. So in this issue, Cosmic Ghost Rider, he's been stuck in the past ever since dropping Thanos off as a baby, decided not gonna have anything to do with that.
Right.
So he goes to visit his old wife and kid.
The day before they're gonna get killed.
The day before they're gonna get killed. So obviously he's gonna prevent them from getting killed.
Oh, you think so?
Well, I
mean,
he's not going to do it, but that's what he's there thinking. I'll go here and I'll stop them from getting murdered.
Oh, interesting.
That's his thinking, his thought process, and so his old wife recognizes him, but he's like, "Nah, I'm what's his name?
Frank's uncle.
I'm Frank's uncle."
And she buys it really fast.
Yeah, just like that.
Come on in. Yeah. Here's the kid. I'll leave you alone with him for a long time.
Yeah, so she leaves.
Sketchy-looking guy in a black trench coat and long hair.
And he immediately reveals to the kid that he's a superhero. And he goes full Cosmic Ghost Rider, flaming head right in front of the kid. Like, here, I'll prove it. And then he tells him some wacky stories about times with Galactus and, making Silver Surfer look like a chump whenever he can.
See, he specifically tells a story about how he stowed away on the Fantastic Four's rocket and was also changed by the cosmic rays, and it was actually the Fantastic Five at the beat. Like, it's fully going into things that happened in Marvel history and changing it so that he was a part of it. He's fully lying to this kid. None of this stuff happened.
I thought he was lying by saying that he went back as Cosmic Ghost Rider, and he was already the Cosmic Ghost Rider, and when they were on their mission, his power, Cosmic, bled over to the Fantastic Four, so his power created him. He was so powerful that he created the Fantastic Four. Check me out, kid. I created the Fantastic Four.
Right, and was on the team for a while.
Right, until they decide he's too much of a murderer.
Right, because he's slaughtering moloids, and he's like, "Don't worry, you can kill them. They're like zombies." And the mole man is like, "Stop, please, my children. They are sentient creatures."
It's funny, and Reed's like, "You seem like a murderer." And he's like, "Yep, that's me."
We're scientists, and you seem more like a murderer.
Yeah, pretty funny. So he feeds the kid a bunch of lies.
A bunch of lies.
It's pretty funny.
He inserts himself as Reed's lawyer during the storyline where Reed was held responsible for Galactus' destruction of worlds because of a time that he saved Galactus' life.
Right. Yes, he did. Time when he was palling around with the Hulk and Spider-Man and Wolverine.
Right, because this did happen for a little while. There was an arc where the Fantastic Four were replaced by an alternate Fantastic Four that was Spider-Man, Wolverine, Hulk, and Ghost Rider.
Right. He just jumps in and
he's the Ghost Rider.
Does the old switcheroo.
And yeah, I like how he meets up with and he's like, "Yeah, dude, cool, you're cool. I got this." Like.
Yeah, and then Spider-Man's just like, "Hey, is anybody going to point out that we have a completely different Ghost Rider now?"
So this is it's a straight comedy. It's a straight comedy book. He does mention earlier that all of his messing around with this stuff was making Uatu the Watcher angry.
Yes, he did.
And so then the last page reveal, when he goes to the bathroom, that Uatu's there and is angry and has words for him. I guess that actually kind of indicates that he did go back in time and do some of this crap.
Right, yeah.
Maybe it wasn't all lies.
Well, that's true. Maybe he has been messing with a whole bunch of shit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but it seems like Uatu really doesn't want him to save his family's life.
Yeah, he's been making a lot of changes, and the Watchers don't like that.
Yeah, no, they don't.
They don't like that.
Yeah, so I thought this was a pretty good issue. It was a lark.
That is what it is. Would you want to continue the series?
Yeah, I'd read another if you picked it up. If you don't pick it up, I wouldn't really miss it.
What's your score?
I'd give it a 6.
Yeah. Nah, I gotta give it a 5. The art is good, but to me, it felt very long. There was a lot of dialogue.
That's true.
There was some good action taking place, but the way that all the characters were being written, and I know it was supposed to be like, it's really him telling these characters, and it's his voice. That's why the Silver Surfer is talking like a petulant child.
Right. I mean, if it wasn't him telling the story and Silver Surfer was talking like that, I'd be pissed.
Right. And so it's fine, yeah. I may get another issue. We'll see how busy that week is.
That's fair.
Okay, so last we're going to round out with a comic you didn't read.
True.
Doomsday Clock 9 of 12. These are few and far between. This book is so delayed.
That's true. But this is the merging of Watchmen and DC Comics, correct?
Yes, it is. And we're in the thick of it now. The series is finally getting interesting.
Oh,
and
good. What
this is showing us, in my opinion, is that this really needed to be like an 8-issue series, not a 12-issue series, and this should have been like issue 5 or something.
Right.
But there's some pretty cool stuff happening. Basically, Dr. Manhattan is on Mars, and everybody on Earth knows that he's there, and he was responsible for a firestorm blowing up and killing a bunch of people in Russia, and getting Superman blamed for that stuff. So Superman's out of commission, but literally all of the other heroes, and we get like four pages of the various, like, here's the crew of each ship. Like, all of these people are going. Here's the Doom Patrol. Here's all the magical heroes. Here's Batman and the Outsiders, the Captain Marvel family.
Nice.
Blue Beetle and the Question, Captain Atom, so all the Charlton heroes. They're all flying to Mars to deal with whatever's there that's trying to frame Superman and start a world war.
Sounds great.
And because of this, all the heroes are off Earth, except for Wonder Woman, who's going to give a statement to the United Nations about how to calm down all the political unrest that's happening. So we get to Mars, and we get this great sequence of all the Green Lanterns walking around and kind of exploring things before everybody else gets set up, because they need to set up a atmosphere for the planet, and they need to create a dome so that firestorm can then create oxygen within, and then all the heroes can operate on Mars freely.
Nice.
But there's this interesting little exchange between the Green Lanterns where they find this checkerboard thing that Dr. Manhattan left there, and Guy Gardner says, "Oh, he likes checkers." Jessica Cruz goes, "Why do you assume it's a he?" Guy Gardner goes, "Shit, not this again, new girl. And hey, I say the villain is a woman, and you get mad about that!" So I gotta give Jeff Johns some credit. Like, he'll speak truth to power in this case. I can't believe, like, a mainstream comic book from one of the big two is going so un-PC like that.
Yeah, no, that's great.
He even does it again later, where it's like, we're gonna find his base, if anything. Or hers! Grant Gardner! So we get this sequence with all the heroes fighting Dr. Manhattan. It's pretty cool, because Dr. Manhattan teaches himself magic during the fight while he's fighting the magic characters like Etrigan and Zatanna.
Oh, wow.
He's like, "Oh, what are you doing to me? Oh, I can see. This thing you call magic is actually bits of old leftover, like, code from the beginning of the universe that you have access to. Oh, here's how I can do it." And then he does a magic explosion back at them.
Ooh.
And the fight is going pretty badly for everybody.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
Including this great sequence where Captain Atom, who of course is the character that Dr. Manhattan is based on, gets into a fight with him and tries to blow him up. And they seem to succeed, but Dr. Manhattan, as we know, can just reform himself anytime he's fully destroyed.
Yes, he can.
While the fight is happening and Wonder Woman is about to give her speech, suddenly Black Adam and all the supervillains left on Earth show up at the UN and say, "Oh, nice UN you got here. Shame there aren't any superheroes around right now, and all of us are here." And Dr. Manhattan has apparently defeated everyone on the moon.
Yeah, that's probably what a fight with Dr. Manhattan would go like.
Dr. Manhattan has his memories stop like a day from the events of this comic. He sees all of time at once.
Right.
But his memories stop, and his last memory is Superman, battered, bloodied, and beaten, rushing at him. screaming, and then it's all blackness. And the question he's asking himself is that the moment I die, or is that the moment I destroy everything?
Right.
So the series is going somewhere pretty cool. We'll see. And this was a very good, action-packed, well-drawn issue with a lot of cool characters. But damn, this is a weird comic. A weird comic.
You'd say so.
I give it a 7.
All right. I give it a nothing.
But does it sound cool?
No, it sounds very cool, and some of that art looks pristine.
That's the thing, is Gary Frank is doing career best work on this book. There's no question that this is as good as a comic like this could look, really.
Right, exactly.
Just looks spectacular, and that's a big chunk of my score, honestly. It's just how cool everything looks.
Yeah, it looks really good.
The Marvel family does comment on it, because there's some kids in them, that, oh man, the dude just walking around with his dong out.
Yes, he does.
So, we did it.
Yep.
That was the comics for the week. Thanks, as always, for listening, everybody, and we will be back with more reviews in the very near future.
Yes, we will. Sometime down the road.